was already at the park. Okay, because the initial plan was that we would move from the park to Lagos. So I was already at the park. I was at the park from 11 till almost 5 that day. You guys, I think 4. No, I was at the park from around 11 till 4 that day. It was not a funny experience, and I had not eaten anything. I had never drank water. I was just so stressed. Mind you, my money was with this guy. My load was with him, and I didn't have any money to go back to Lagos. And I was all bent on collecting my money. See, I performed drama for them in that park. Hey beautiful people, I'm Setemi. Thanks for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my travel experience. I know you might be wondering that why would I talk about my travel experience. Well, I'm going to talk about it because it's worth telling. So it's going to be a story time. You guys are going to enjoy it. So I finished my exams February. But when I finished my exams, let's say I finished my exams on Tuesday. I was supposed to travel Saturday. Then my mom told me that I should travel on Friday because of, traffic on the road and all. That Friday will be the best day to travel. So I said okay. Then Thursday I realized that I was nowhere close to packing my load, and it was the end of session. We were supposed to move out of the hostel. I mean, it was a semester break now. I would not have taken as much time as this, but so I had to pack all my load, everything I had to pack it out of the hostel. I started, I was washing my box, washing everything to make everything easier. But I was not done with the actual packing. My kitchen stuff was still in the kitchen. Like most of my clothes, I even washed clothes. Some of them were not dried yet. I postponed my trip to Saturday because I was not done with my packing, and I didn't want to be rushing on Saturday morning and all. So from Saturday I postponed my trip to Sunday again because I had to see my project supervisor that Saturday, so I had to postpone my trip to Sunday. So by that time I was already done packing and I was ready to travel back to Lagos. But I made one mistake that day. I was supposed to move my things to the hostel, to the new hostel I was going to stay, but I didn't do that because I felt it was already late. And the person that was supposed to help me with the hostel stuff, like help me carry and everything, that is when I got to the new hostel, the person was not around. The person had already clocked off. So I said, okay, the next day I'll take it in the morning. My plan was that my roommate would help me carry my load to the front of the hostel. So Sunday came, I had finished packing everything. The only things that were left outside was the clothes I was going to wear the next day, like to travel. So that Sunday morning, 8:38, I was done. Then I was now waiting for my roommate to come back. She went to church that Sunday. So she didn't come back. I called her. I said she was in church. How did I carry this clothes like this? And I don't know anybody in the hostel. And so I had to start dragging the load from my room, the front of the hostel. Thank God my room is not far. So, and my load, it was so it was heavy, like heavy. So I had to start dragging my box, dragging the bags and everything to the front of the hostel, the center of the hostel. So that was one part of the struggle. Then the other part was now for me to find the keke that will carry me from the hostel I was staying before to the new hostel I was going to. These people were calling price for me. One even said 1,000. Like the distance is not even far at all. On the norms I go to the hostel regularly because my friends stay in that new hostel. I stayed in that hostel in 200 level. So I wanted to move back there for 400 level. They tell me 1,000. For what? Do I want to travel? Last I saw one that carried me for 300. Then another problem was to now pay for the hostel. Like I wanted to pay per payment for the room. The website was now doing rubbish. The website was just doing anyhow. Like you guys, I spent almost 30 minutes on that one, and it was already 11. I was already thinking that should I go back to the hostel and go and stay and travel the next morning. But I was like, I had to travel. So eventually I was able to pay the park payment for the hostel. Then I now started my journey to park. When I got to the park, for the park to from my school park to the park where we entered the bus that will take me to Lagos. If you see the price people were calling for me again, eventually I entered normal cab. Cab took me from school park to tipper garage. From tipper garage I entered this 150. From the tipper garage I now entered Sawmill straight. That's the garage I was going to enter the bus that would take me to Lagos. I entered it 200. That was fair compared to the 1-2 you were calling for me as park. So I entered that one. I got to the Sawmill garage. Luckily for me there was still bus. That was around 12. So I entered the bus. I think I was like the second to the last or third to the last person to enter, luckily for me. So they carried our load, tied everything, and we're complete. We moved. So we started the trip. Then after 30 minutes, we noticed that the bus was making some funny sound. Like, what's going on? I don't understand. What is killing Chelegongon? So people inside the bus were telling the driver that, why is this bus sounding like this? So Isha continued driving. Then after an hour again, that's 1 hour 30 minutes after, that's how the bus just stopped working. Hey, in the middle of the road, and this was in the bush, like not bush, but the road was very scanty. Anything could have happened. Robbers could have just attacked us. It wasn't safe, sha. Like it was in the middle of nowhere. Thank God that there were some people selling things on the road, and I think there were like two houses there. So we now the bus didn't actually stop completely. The bus didn't stop working actually, but there was no way we could get to Lagos. So the driver just went to go and park near one of those houses. Then there were some mechanics there. They tried to check if it was something they could fix soon. By that we moved around to 1. This was like 3 o'clock when the bus issue started, or when we came down from the bus. It was around 3 when the driver parked the bus and couldn't move anymore. Then he started coming down. There was even one woman that was changing for the man that, what kind of nonsense is this, blah 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 blah. So she had talking. So there was not another woman that was not telling the man that she had to get to Lagos, that she was going to resume duty that night. She had to get to Lagos, that she put her in another bus. So we started looking for a bus that was going to Lagos. But we wanted to start putting us 1122 inside bus. And me like this. And me, I had so much load. Not so much, but I had load. And I could not leave my load and leave, because you have to run to go and meet the bus. Because you know, as you are driving, they can't just stop maybe. You get what I'm saying? We're putting people inside bus. So we had to be running. And I could not go. And it was already running late. I called my mom that, should I continue with the trip or I should just go back to Ilorin? My mind, they already said, because we already spent extra 30 minutes going to 1 hour in that place. And it's not safe. So I said that, okay. No. But he wanted to start putting us 1122 inside bus. And me like this. And me, I had so much load. Not so much, but I had load. And I could not leave my load and leave, because you have to run to go and meet the bus. Because you know, as you are driving, they can't just stop maybe to be running. And I could not go. And it was already running late. I called my mom that, should I continue with the trip or I should just go back to Ilorin? My mind, they already said, because we already spent extra 30 minutes going to 1 hour in that place. And it's not safe. So I said that, okay. Then I told the driver that, no, I'm going to go back to Ilorin. I called one of my friends that was still in Ilorin, that stayed outside school, that I needed a place to stay and stuff. Then she was like, okay, no problem. Driver eventually put me in a bus that was going to Ilorin. Then I left my load inside this bus. That the plan was that the next day back, he was going to call me. I getted his number and I getted mine. That he was going to call me and then we go back to Lagos the next day. I got to my friend's place. I was so tired and stressed because it was not easy. See, the money I spent then the money, the stress. That's not the end of my ordeal. I didn't I had known, I would have just jejely stayed back in school and traveled on Monday. The driver said to call him around 8 in the morning on Monday. He started calling this man. He said, oh, they were not done with the bus, there was still some issues and they had to get something and they couldn't get it in the Ilorin. He should have said the thing somehow. What's going on now? So he said I should wait till 11, that I should call him back at 11, but by 11 they will be done. I called this man at 11. He was telling me that I was disturbing him, that the clinic, I should wait till 4. I said 4 kids. 4. By that time I had already left my friend's hostel, was already at the park. Okay. Because the initial plan was that we would move from the park today, because I was already at the park. I was at the park from 11 till almost 5 that day. You guys, I think 4, no. I was at the park from around 11 till 4 that day. It was not a funny experience, and I had not eaten anything. I had never drank water. I was just so stressed. Mind you, my money was with this guy. My load was with him. And I didn't have any money to go back to Lagos. And I was all bent on collecting my money. See, I performed drama for them in that park. I went to meet them, you know, all these drivers always know each other and stuff. So I went to meet the drivers and asked them, they know so and so. They're like, okay. Then they now sent me to somebody that they thought was the person I'm talking about, but it was not the one. I described how he was, how he looked to them. Then I was like, this is not the same person. This is not this person, Sha. This is not the person I was looking for. Then I explained everything that happened to them. These people carried. I walked. They say, okay, go and meet this person. This one say go and meet that person. This one say go and meet that person. I even went to another garage. Say, they took me to that garage and I should go and meet their chairman. I should go and meet the oga of the driver. It was such a stressful and very, very annoying moment. So they kept calling this driver. So they kept calling this driver, telling him that this was so and so. This guy was just. Thank God I actually went to meet this business. I would not have been able to collect my money and collect my load. It got to a point I was like, if I don't do something, people will not give me the money. I started crying. I performed drama for them. I started crying that I don't have any money to go back home again. Can you come? I should have said this, said the thing now. At a point, so they're not telling me that I should not cry, that I should not worry, they will collect the money back. So they're not calling the driver that even if it's half of the money, because I paid 3,500 for the transport fare to Lagos, that even if you can give me 2,000, I was like 2,000, because you better give me my full money. So they're telling me that I should not cry. The driver wanted to just chop the money and go like that. Nonsense, man. I performed drama for the driver and also for other drivers in the car park. Eventually, to God be the glory, they gave me back my 3,500 complete. Now the issue was now my load, and I told them that my load is still with the driver. So I said, why would I leave my load? That will I not be carrying load, because I had to keep the load there. So they're not saying that will I wait for the driver that day or I'll go the next one. I said, well, let me just go the next day, that would be more refreshed and be able to travel. So when I collected my money, I was so happy. I called my mom that I collected my money back home. I now called my friend that I stayed at her place the night before that she around, because we left her house together that morning, so I wanted to know if she was back. So she said she wasn't back. And I called another of my friends that I wanted to stay with her. I love you guys. I love you, Debbie. I love you, Solia. Thank you so much for hosting me. So I called my other friend that I wanted to stay at her place for the night. Then she told me she was around. Can you imagine? I'd gone to her house before. Like, I knew her place, but I had forgotten the road to her house. So when I now dropped her, it killed me. It was not another struggle for me to identify her, because I didn't want to enter Okada. I was trying to save money because I had already spent a lot of money already. Honestly, I spent a lot of money from that Sunday to Tuesday. This was now, I'm talking about, was still Monday. It was still on Monday. So I got to her place eventually after walking and asking people, I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay, I'm going to stay. So I got to her hostel eventually, Then she hosted me. I ate, cooked me, and I slept. The sleep didn't come on time, and there was no light for me to chat. I was just praying to God and God let there be this light, because I need my money. Once I'm traveling like this, my phone must be 100%, because she will be calling me. She will be calling me. And I don't want a state whereby she will be worried. So I was just praying that I would get a place to charge my phone. And thankfully it brought the light that night. And the next day I woke up very early, and I called the driver that okay, I was going to meet him at the park. That Tuesday I already called my mom, because I didn't even give my mom his number, because I already said I was already changing it for him on that Tuesday, Monday. That what nonsense. I was so angry and pissed that this man doesn't even have, this man is not even honest at all. So he already told my mom that I was done fixing the car. Then I called him the next day that I was already going to the park, that I was on his way there. And I told me that I should not meet him in another place. And I spent the extra money to go and meet him at that park. That was my load, you guys. Okay, my load was the tension. I spent the extra money to go and meet him at that park. I mean, it was not a park, it was like around the filling station where I went to meet him. There's a filling station around the filling station where I went to meet him. So he now said okay, he wanted to drop me at the park. So when I now got to the park, I now realized that it was another park. It was not the park I entered bus before. So I was even annoyed that this man just wants to make me spend another money again. So eventually when I realized that the bus fare was actually cheaper than the one I entered the previous day, I just said, well, let me just enter. And if I say I should go back to that park, I entered on Sunday, I will spend money to go to the park, and I will pay extra money. So let's say let me just enter at that park. So eventually I was able to enter. Eventually I was in the bus on my way home, and I got home on Tuesday. Thank God. The travel experience was very, very frustrating. I should just listen to my mom, because on that Sunday when I was called her around 12 that I went to the park, she was telling me that I should just go, I should just travel the next day and not on Sunday. I should just listen to her honestly. And I saved myself lots of trouble, and saved money as well, because I spent a lot of money, you know, feeding, transportation, and all. It was a struggle. But I'm so glad that phase is over, and I'm glad to be back on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for all the support and love on my videos. You guys should please comment. You guys watch my videos but you don't comment. Why now? Please comment on my videos. They really mean the world to me. I love seeing your comments, and I reply. What am I doing in this life if I don't reply your comments? You guys can follow me on my social media, and even though I don't have posts like that, but hopefully I'll start posting this year, because this year I'm taking my social media seriously. Like, yeah, so I'm currently on Instagram and Twitter. I'm active on my Instagram story actually, so you guys can reach out to me there. I am Setemi Lawal on Instagram, Setemi Lawal 1 on Twitter, Setemi Lawal 1 on Snapchat. You could also add me on Snapchat so that we can send tricks to each other. Okay. I'll also leave my social media links in the description box so you guys can check them out, and let me know if you have any ideas or anything. Just, you know, I always say, feel free to reach out to me. I am more than willing to listen to you guys. I love you all so much. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Peace. So I collected the, no, I didn't collect. Okay, so I try to perform the drama for them. That I perform drama for the driver. I perform drama.